Hey guys, Mark from Gunpla Network here, back with my review of my first ever Master Grade kit, the Titans Mark II 2.0 Gundam. This kit, like I said, was my first ever MG, so really exciting. I've never built one before, and basically after spending the last couple of years just building high grades, real grades, a couple of SDs, and modifying stuff and painting, I almost shocked myself into I'm going, Master Grade, I can't touch this would be way too complex for me. But it just requires all the same skill. So anyone out there who's never built a Master Grade and has been, like me, psyching themselves out, don't worry about it. This guy here is just like any other grade that you build, except slightly more complex. You know, the inner frame, the legs here were a ton of parts to put together. That first one took me, I reckon, just for one leg took me a good hour, and then the next one took half the time because I'd had some practice at it. So don't panic, just grab a coffee and sit down and you'd be fine with this like any other grade of kit. Perfect grade I may get to one day. I imagine that'll just be another whole shock level up there. So yeah, alright, let's crack into the review. So I've got him standing here on this kit, which is on this base, which you don't get with the Titans 2.0. This is the kit I got. That base is included on the AEUG 2.0. Now, I believe on the Hyakushiki 2.0 and the Zeta 2.0, it was part of the 2.0 releases for the AEUG side. You actually got these style of bases, and on the sides you'll notice they have tab-like edges. They all interconnect to create like a standing display. Hence why the Titans didn't get one, because they weren't obviously the Titans kits. The Titans weren't part of that side. So if you want this base, it does not come with, I found someone who generously donated it to me years ago when I bought the kit. I said, oh damn it, I missed out, I'd really like that, and he wasn't using it, so he kindly sent me this base. And it was literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about half a dozen pieces and 10 minutes worth of denubbing work to put together. Not very much at all, and it looks great, particularly if you were to paint it detailed up. It also comes with, that you don't get, I'm just going to do this and get it out of the way. These guys might be kind of hard to see because I'm obviously wearing my white gloves. Two pilot figures, kind of like flying and reaching, and what they have is, you'll see the little holes in their backs on their backpacks. That's so you can connect wire to them, which I don't seem to have. I don't think you sent me that, so I'll just grab some wire from somewhere, and you can stick it into the holes along the edge of the base, probably drill your own if you needed to, and have the guys kind of like floating around like it's in a space diorama. But apart from those two guys, the wire, and this nice moving arm stand here, which I'll move out of the way now since I've talked about it, and it goes up and down like that. So that stuff you will not get if you were to buy the Titans kit. You would have to buy an AEUG and paint it like a Titans kit if you wanted it. So we'll move that out of the way. Alright, overall look. This Gundam is really, really good. I quite enjoy the overall look of it. The colours are fairly colour accurate. Like I said, there were no, unlike some high grades, maybe not the revives of this kit, but the older high grades and stuff, some of it may not be colour accurate. You may need to paint in details. This was actually really good itself for an older MG now, but it is a 2.0. Colours are great, no real stickers and out of boxing required. The only stickers which I haven't used, and you can probably tell looking at the eyes, are the camera and eye stickers, and the weapon camera lens stickers, because I'm going to be painting this shortly. So yeah, that's it. It's a tiny like 5 stickers. That's all you need to complete this. So that's really good. Decals, you get dry rub transfers. So there's a piece of paper it came with. I'm not sure which one that's for. I think it's actually for that. So turn that. There we go. Turn it that way. I'm a water slides fan. I haven't tried dry rubs yet. I have heard they can be difficult, but you can see here there's a ton of Titans logo 0, 1, 2, 3, depending on which version you want to do of the Gundam. Then there's also a fair amount of stickers which you could use, which are all Titans as well, warning signs and logos. So pretty cool that they included that sort of thing for you. I'm kind of hoping Bandai will get to a stage where, you know, even the real grades they could kind of just release with water slides would be nice and helpful. But see what happens. I mean, you can always buy those on the side for a few dollars. So overall look, like I said, very good. You would have seen it in the first look. It had a lot of good posing and stuff to it. It just looks really good, and I'm sure this is going to look great in my shelf once it's finished. Articulation. So the kit's pretty amazing, guys. You would have seen in the first look, it was able to pull off a couple of good poses like the bazooka crouching pose, and that actually wasn't too hard to get. I'm used to real grades where they're a touch fiddly, you touch one part and they all just kind of fall apart on you, but this was actually really easy. No side skirts fell off, no front skirts. The hands, I see why people complain now and they say, oh, the master grade hands, even though it's 2.0. They're a bit fiddly to get it to grab stuff, and that is the only set of hands you get. So I see people saying they can buy a replacement aftermarket, etc., and I see why they do now. So I personally, slight issues with getting them to hold on to their posing and stuff, but overall not the worst I've ever had. Real grades are far worse than this. So you'll see inside the cockpit I actually have the pilot figure in there seated, so we'll close that up now. Now you'll see there's a touch of blue tack there because my cockpit just would not for the life of me stay open. Arms. There's a little movement in those side flaps. They will go all the way around. There's actually, the way they're built in there, you can get some good raising height up on them, and kind of like mechanical detail, the joint moves with it. The side view. Good bend. And wrist movement, because that's just a ball joint. The shoulder armor. Go up. Sorry, once you've moved that flap in, the arm will go all the way out to the side and it will give you better than above. While I was actually like building this kit and testing out the flexibility of it, I noticed that the articulation, I guess you would say, was more human-like. So it actually seemed to go, you know, much like I could do. I could try and pull off a pose myself and then see if I could pose the Gundam in that pose. Now, this has the movable cockpit feature, which I think translates to more hip movement. So side to side. You can go a little bit forward, a little bit back. You could turn, but you will end up hitting all of the front and side skirting. So the side skirts individually parted will come all the way up. The side skirts will go up a little and they cover the ball joint of the leg, and the butt flap doesn't really, but the piece in there that comes down and that becomes the bazooka holder. So really cool. Legs all the way up. They go as far back as that. Good flex, and you see the armor all moves and comes apart. That's why the legs are so highly detailed. You see as they pull back, the chromed piston parts are in the leg there. Very good. Look really awesome. And you can pull off a flying knee. At the back you get some more movement there. Feet will come all the way down, and I can't do that with my foot sadly, but the armor parts all move and retract much more than a real grade would, which I was very surprised. I thought the real grades were just mini master grades, but they have an insane amount more. You can actually also almost go for a full splits, not quite. So And then on the ankle armor, like we said, if you pull down, you can see full extension on the chrome part there. So this guy is a highly posable kit and really detailed. So what I didn't cover, sorry, when we were talking about the looks, the backpack has some articulation to it with the vents and beam saber holders. The thrusters actually do have, you know, a little movement, not the bottom, but the top ones do. There is a, this kind of crosses into accessories, so good time for it. This piece here that you get, it's a long tube of material, hosing. Now, here is just a piece of that from hole to hole. It goes into the thruster, vent, vernier, I'm not sure what you would call this, beam saber charging unit, down into the backpack to give the illusion of like a hydraulic cable or a charging cable, something like that. The backs of the legs have them, and so you can see here, this is the leg I did one side without, one side with. So you'll cut different lengths. It tells you in the guide by millimeters, convert that into centimeters if you need to, like I did, and measure it out with a ruler and then just cut it with your hobby knife. It's just a, like I said, very flexible material cable. So it looks really cool. It's a good gimmick that you would expect of a master grade. So that goes just between holes, and it goes onto these plastic curved bits that you've got there on the back of the leg. So it gives the illusion of cables once again. And on the back of the back of the thigh, sorry, the ankle here, it's got it once again. So you can see on my one, I've got one without, it's just the plastic, and that's got the hose covering the inner part there. So nice and highly detailed, as you would expect of the master grade. I'm just noticing some of my nub removal wasn't as good as I thought it was. So yeah, that's just in there on the thruster. I've screwed one up. But the thrusters, I find, no matter what size they are the hardest to get removed without any, you know, screw up on them. The flat surfaces I've got covered now. But anyway, onto accessories. So you get the two pilot figures, a seated, and you get a little Titans dude standing pilot figure there. He'll look all nice painted up, staying on the gantry. You get, as you would have seen in the review, let's see if I hold that like that. This is the Vulcan headset with what looks like an antenna for long-range communication or something that sits on top of the Gundam. I can't remember how often it was used in the series. At some point it was not at all. You get the standard issue a beam rifle. So I've actually seam lined mine already, but there is a seam line down the middle of the gun. It has removable ammo packs. You get the standard issue shield that you would slap some decals on the front and back. This one is actually got 2 ammo clips in the back of it, so you get 3 ammo clips for the beam rifle. And if you push the shield up, you hear a click like that, and then the shield is now the half size looking shield, so it doesn't extend, you know, the whole length of his body if you wanted to store it up just half size. Otherwise, staying next to the kit, the shield is actually a really decent height. And it's actually the track in here which allows you to do that movement. It was a bit fiddly setting that up. Standard beam saber effect part, which was manufactured 2006. And the last weapon we have is the clay bazooka, I believe it's called. This ammo pack is like the beam rifle, detachable but tight. They could also be tight because I did seam line them. There we go. So it just goes in there. You get 2 of these, and as you would have seen in the first look, you can put one of those on the side skirt. The handle is movable all the way up.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
All the way up. And we'll come down as far as that. So, and good, like I said, color separation, they've managed to do that really well. So painting might be a challenge now I've done the seam lines. Like I said, it was my first MG, it was a bit daunting, but overall, it was a pretty good build. I was very happy with it, and I will definitely now include master grades occasionally in my yearly build schedule if I can. I'll get 1 or 2 a year. They're obviously like higher priced, but definitely worth it for the price point difference between a real grade and a master grade. Sometimes a bit easier to work with the parts, sometimes a bit tricky. Like I said, the shield, putting some of these cable parts in on the back of the legs was a bit of a pain, but overall pretty good. Final verdict? Buy it. Must have for any UC or Zeta Gundam fan. This kit will just look fantastic on your shelf, whether you get the AUG or you get the Titans version. Depends what you like. I like the look of the darkness of the Titans version compared to the standard Gundam blue, white, red, yellow sort of fare. This was good, and you could have fun painting this. Good color separation. The armor, you know, like I said, is very detailed into the parts where it lifts and moves, so they're all separate. You could paint those, whack them back together with no seam lines, and you would have a great looking kit. Alright guys, thanks very much for joining me for my first ever master grade review. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.